Vinyl sighed wistfully as she eyed the window display. Just beyond her grasp were socks. So many different varieties, so many different colors. Ones of both smooth silk and soft cotton. Over there, the kind that would run all the way up to a mare's thigh, made to show off the loveliest of curves. Then there were the shorter ones decorated with many a pattern, sewn on with the fineness of embroidery. Seeing them all on different ponyquins, she could not help but imagining Octavia wearing a pair. Ivory white hooves fidgeted against the cold pavement of the Canterlot sidewalk as Vinyl's imagination took flight a little too well. Her eyes rested on a particularly seductive pair of knee-high socks. They would look perfect on her mare friend. She just knew it. Made from fine silk, they clung to the curves of the hoof, somehow making the legs seem even more graceful than possible. They were a simple pair beside that, colored with a dark hue of dark charcoal gray that would easily be the same color as Octavia's flowing mane. A hoarse cough jolted Vinyl free from her fantasy and tore her eyes away from those magical socks. "Young lady, you are blocking the whole sidewalk, and quite rudely, I might add." The haughty Canterlot accent turned Vinyl's face red with heat, a blush from both anger and from realizing how close she came from imagining some rather indecent things about Octavia. Or, more specifically, Octavia's spectacular hooves. Vinyl's eyes began to develop a glazed-over look as once more she was sucked into the realm of fantasy. Mares these days. No sense of decency, the lot of them. The elitist Canterlot native stuck her nose high into the sky. It's not like some pony like you could even afford a pair like that. Vinyl's sense of anger flared again, but it died down to a slow simmer as she realized how right this mare's words were, despite the nature they were said in. This store was one of the high-end stores that not only has costs that could give a lesser pony a heart attack, but was also selective about the clientele it even let through the door. There was no hope of Vinyl ever being able to get Octavia those socks, no matter how much she fantasized about it. The trudging walk home for Vinyl seemed to take longer than usual after the disheartening event in front of the store. And Vinyl knows that when she got home, there wasn't going to be anything there to look forward to either. Octavia had left a note that morning about having to take some big gig for Hearth's warming and would not be coming home tonight. Vinyl was left all alone for the holiday, it would seem. The silvery keys to their shared home hovered in the cerulean grasp of the DJ's magic as she prepared to unlock the door. She sighed. She hadn't even gotten a chance to wish her love a happy holiday this morning. The key slipped into the lock and twisted to the sound of a metallic clink. The sound echoed through the recesses of Vinyl's mind as she cracked open the door to the darkened hallway. She stumbled, entering over the threshold, not expecting the complete and utter darkness. "Octavia?" The question was asked out of hopefulness and despair, knowing the only answer would be silence. Having received her expected answer, Vinyl once more let out a defeated sigh as a small flame of hope was snuffed out. "Well, merry heartwarming eve to you too, Octy. I love you so much." Vinyl's soft-spoken words trailed off as she lit up her horn. Preoccupied in thoughts of her own, the white unicorn did not even notice the finely wrapped gift box that sat in the center of the hallway floor. That is, of course, until her hooves kicked at it absent-mindedly. With a twitch of annoyance and confusion, Vinyl stopped in her tracks and looked down. It was a white package, not overly large, and the lid was securely fastened in place with an electric blue bow. Vinyl felt her hoof unconsciously travel up to her own mane, of which the blue was reminiscent. Large, scrawling letters ordained the side, declaring who the lucky recipient of the package was, as if she couldn't already have guessed. Final scratch. The squeak that left the DJ's mouth at that moment could have easily been mistaken with that of any fillies or colts in the same situation. The hooves that grasped the bow and tore apart the wrapping paper could be described as no less eager, and in mere seconds the box stood bare. Now was the moment that Vinyl calmed herself as she carefully lifted the top off. Inside was a single clip of paper. If those red eyes could have gotten any wider with excitement, they would have, as they read over the few words. Never before had Vinyl Scratch's hooves moved as fast as they did at that moment in the rush to get to the bedroom. Panting, just outside the whitewashed door, she paused to catch her breath, noticing the flickering shadows of candlelight spilling out from the bottom part of the door. The grin on her face could not be wider as her hoof braced itself on the doorknob. Unable to hold herself back, Vinyl flung the door open with as much tact as she normally presents, pupils dilating at what she saw laying before her, or more accurately, who. Laying across the bed was Octavia, bow hanging haphazardly around her throat, and tousled sheets half on and half across her body. The way her eyes stared at Vinyl beneath half-closed lids spoke only of one thing. Come here. The clamber of hooves could not have been matched, even by a full, heart-warming day. In their excitement, the peace of the moment was broken. The sexuality changed, but not lost. I thought you weren't going to be home this evening. A white muzzle connected with the gray. Simply a small lie on my part. I wish to surprise you. Gray nuzzled back. Surprise? Octi, have I mentioned how much I love you? Once or twice. A quick peck on the lips. Do you want your presents, my special little DJ? Those wide eyes, glowing with excitement, slowly trailed over the form of her mare friend, tracing the gentle curves and creases in the satin blanket. Subtle dips in the smooth fabric hinted at the treasured gift. A hoof slowly reached out, a slight tremble, the only sign of joyous thrill contained in its owner, and pushed aside that which blocked her from her gift. A sliver of pink ran across Vinyl's lips as she took in the sight of Octavia's own pink slit. Despite having seen it before, despite just how familiar she was with its folds, there was something special about it tonight. Maybe it was the flickering lights of the candle, or maybe the merriment of the holiday season, but maybe it was something else. Octavia? A small upturn of those gray lips graced Octavia's face. Do you like it? The charcoal gray fabric was subtly darker than Octavia's own fur, clung like water to her legs, telling of not-so-secret curves and exemplifying their appeal. Once more, Vinyl moistened her lips as her eyes trailed back up to the marehood of her very own mare friend. So soft, so pink, against that grey backdrop, it stood out, a delicious morsel, just for her. No, Octavia. Vinyl dragged her eyes back up to view Octavia eye to eye. I love it. How did you know, though? Those socks. I've been looking at them for weeks. I wanted them. I wanted to get them just for you. Let's just say a little birdie informed me of your afternoon travels. Octavia wrapped her hooves around her lover's neck and cut off any more thoughts that might have found their way to Vinyl's head. Lips connected, Octavia proceeded to, with a deliberate slowness, teasing the puckered lips of the unicorn. Then, just as those same lips parted to allow entrance to her tongue, Octavia pulled away, smiling at the sight of that face. Eyes still closed, a flicker of confusion crossed across that white muzzle before those eyes cracked back open. Happy holidays, Vinyl. And those 3 words, just simple words, suitable for even the youngest of foals, to the oldest of ponies, began their own night of festivities and debaucheries. Thank you so much for listening. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy New Year's. I hope you have something, someone nice that you're celebrating the holiday with. And there will be more to come. So, yeah. Again, Merry Christmas, everybody.